What does a wartime president do when his superpower sponsor unplugs the financial life support? He stops asking for charity and he starts selling his expertise. Hello and welcome. You are watching Infofeed. On Thursday, March 26, Ukrainian President Zelensky arrived in the Red Sea city of Jeddah for an unannounced surprise visit. He sat down with the de facto ruler of Saudi Arabia, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. If you look at the official press releases, you will read the usual diplomatic talking points. They discussed important meetings, regional stability, and the pursuit of peace. But look past the diplomatic camouflage. This was not a courtesy call. This was a business transaction. As the war between the United States, Israel, and Iran sets the Middle East on fire, the wealthy nations of the Gulf are being battered by Iranian kamikaze drones. And the one country on earth that has spent the last 4 years figuring out how to shoot those exact drones out of the sky is Ukraine. Let's look at the facts of the visit, because this is a story about the brutal, pragmatic realities of modern warfare. Zelensky did not go to Riyadh to ask for blankets or food rations. He went to offer a highly specialized service. He went to offer a protection of the skies agreement. For the last several weeks, the Gulf states have found themselves in the crossfires of escalating US-Israel-Iran war. Tehran has launched retaliatory drone and missile strikes targeting the US assets and bases scattered across the region. The primary weapon of choice, the Shahed drone. Now, who knows the Shahed drone better than anyone else? The Ukrainian military. For the last 4 years, Russia has bombarded Ukrainian cities and power grids with these exact Iranian-designed weapons. And out of sheer desperation, Ukraine learned how to defeat them. Zelensky is now exporting that hard-won survival. He confirmed that more than 200 Ukrainian anti-drone experts have already been deployed to Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Qatar, with another 34 personnel heading to Kuwait. Let us be objective. The Gulf states have some of the most expensive American-made air defense systems in the world, like the Patriot missile battery. But it is a mathematical suicide to fire a 3 million Patriot missile to shoot down a $20,000 Iranian drone. Ukraine is offering the Gulf a masterclass and asymmetrical defense. They are bringing their mix of cheap drone interceptors, localized electronic jamming tools, and mobile anti-craft units. In exchange, Ukraine wants money, and it wants advanced technology. It is a straight, unsentimental barter system. Our battle-tested expertise to protect your oil refineries in exchange for the capital we need to fight our own war. But to understand why Ukraine is suddenly marketing itself to the Gulf, you have to look at Washington. Why is Zelensky in Jeddah instead of Washington, D.C.? Because Washington has fundamentally changed the rules of the game. The United States, which was once Ukraine's unquestioned primary ally, has drastically shifted its policy under the Trump administration. The White House has made its objective clear: a rapid end to the fighting in Eastern Europe. To force that outcome, the US has halted direct military assistance and suspended crucial intelligence sharing with Kiev. They are engaging directly with Moscow. Following a reportedly disastrous, acrimonious Oval Office meeting last month, Ukraine has realized that the blank checks have bounced. Imagine the reality on the ground in Kiev right now. It is the 5th year of the war. Moscow is preparing a massive spring offensive. Ukraine's troops are exhausted, and their primary benefactor has essentially told them to make material concessions to Russia and accept a ceasefire. Well, necessity breeds innovation. If the West will no longer fund Ukraine's defense, Ukraine must find someone who will. By sending his defense minister, Rustem Umerov, and hundreds of tech specialists to the Middle East, Zelensky is attempting to decouple Ukraine's survival from the unpredictable pendulum of American domestic politics. He is trying to generate independent, sovereign revenue by monetizing the only abundant resource Ukraine has left. And that is the dark art of modern drone warfare. Now, we must look at the other side of the table. If you want to see how to navigate a multipolar world, watch Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Saudi Arabia is the world's largest crude exporter. They work incredibly closely with Vladimir Putin and Moscow to manage global oil prices through the OPEC Plus alliance. Yet simultaneously, they are hosting the Ukrainian president, buying Ukrainian military technology, and signing security cooperation agreements with Kiev. This is the definition of transactional diplomacy. Saudi Arabia is not taking a moral stance on the Russia-Ukraine war. They are taking a pragmatic stance on their own national security. Riyadh knows that the US security umbrella in the Middle East is increasingly fragile. They watched the American struggle to contain the current regional fallout, so they are diversifying their defense portfolio. They will happily buy American fighter jets while simultaneously hiring Ukrainian drone hunters to protect their airspace from Iranian proxies, all while maintaining a steady dialogue with Russia. Furthermore, Saudi Arabia has positioned itself as the indispensable mediator. Last month, Riyadh hosted talks between Washington and Moscow. This week, they are attempting to lay the framework for a peace agreement and an initial ceasefire in Ukraine. The kingdom is proving that in the 21st century, you do not need to choose a side in a superpower conflict. If you have enough capital and enough geopolitical leverage, you can simply invite all the warring factions to your living room and negotiate the terms of their survival.